This is the Padres Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Diego Padres. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Padres fans, man, what a day it's been. Welcome to your Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, the new grandpa in the house, and really pumped to have you here every day, man. But a tough one to talk about this afternoon with the Padres going up in flames, really, is no other way to say it. Once again, it's the closer, Robert Suarez, blows it in the ninth inning. They're up 2-1, get out of Cincinnati with a 2-1 win in the series, 2-1 in the game, 2-1 in the series. The Reds were 0-34 when they were trailing after 8 innings, but it was not to be tonight. Why? Because Robert Suarez, once again, could not get the job done. An infield single that was at first ruled an error on Tyler Wade playing third base. Manny Machado had a DH day. You know what I'm saying? Just one of those things. And it ended up being a bad scene. But this is your Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, G-R-I-E-S, at Jim Grease _ on social media. And I want to tell you this, we are free and live after every Padres game right here on YouTube. Afterwards, we upload it so you can download it. You know how we do it. Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean. Here we go. And, of course, you're down with OTT, not OPP. You know, OPP with this age and this beard and this gray, but OTT, yeah, you know me, and we're free there too on Roku. So thank you very much for making myself with Padres Postcast or Javier Reyes with your Locked On Padres podcast in all the same locations. Sub for him is a sub for me and so on, but they're both subs for the network and for the movement. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for making us your first listen and watch every day. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right. And today's episode of Padres Postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. And I'm pumped always to talk to you about FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins at FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. We're just getting going with the Padres Postcast. 3-2 the final. I think I said 2-1. They were up 2-1, and 3-2 is the final, but I meant 2-1. They would have won, and then they win the series 2 games to 1. So anyway, 3-2 the final. The Reds with the victory, and that's a shame, unfortunately, because the Padres really had it going in a good way. You want to come in the comments, have yourself heard? We are right here live. You can ask questions in the mailbag. You can do all these things. Subscribe, hit the bell when you get alerts. We're coming your way with more content, and of course, come on in and engage. You can do it on all the platforms, starting with YouTube right after the games. It's your Padres Postcast. It is Sunday, 3-2 Reds. Let's go.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Once again, this is what we're talking about. The Reds with a walk-off win, and I don't even want to talk about how it happened. I'm just going to leave that up there for you. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Much better, I think, than looking at my face the whole time, right? Or is it better to watch the Reds celebrate or look at me? I don't know. Let's get them off of there on second thought, because let's put up the guy who really deserves to be up there right now more than anybody. How about the man of the hour, the man of the moment, the man with the plan, the man? Wait. No, not him. No. Sorry, guys. Don't want to do that to you. But, man, just a tough one for Robert Suarez again. And I don't know if you're going to be able to count on this guy if you ever get to any sort of postseason scenario, which right now is almost becoming laughable for the Padres if this team doesn't start to hit. And, you know, as Spencer Steer's single went into center field and the runner's coming home to tie the game, and I'm looking at Jackson Merrill coming on full speed, crow hop, sprinting like Usain Bolt, not as fast as him, but you know what I mean, full on sprint, right? And he just guns one home too high. Elias Diaz made a great play to get the tag down, but the runner was Elly De La Cruz, and he just got in under. Now, had that throw been a little bit lower from Merrill, and you don't want to blame, it's certainly not Merrill's fault, but had that throw just been a smidge lower, you'd be looking at a different outcome maybe in this game. But I doubt it, because Suarez was in his Suarez zone right now. So ignore the and I love the audience right now. Please subscribe and hit that bell while you're here. But I ought to take off that Wade E5. It was later changed to an infield single. And with all the technical issues we've been having today, it was left in there. All right, so here we go. Real quick, just want to take you through what happened. Will Benson was the guy who did it today. It was the bases loaded single off Robert Suarez in the bottom of the ninth. Really, it was a bullet down the right field line that would have been a double or even more. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It was a ripped bullet down the right field line by Will Benson, a single because the run scored on the walk-off with the bases loaded. He had the infield in. Didn't matter. You knew it was over at that point. 3-2 is the final. Ellie De La Cruz led off the ninth with the infield single that was originally scored an error on Tyler Wade. And, you know, you try playing third base with Ellie De La Cruz running down the first base line. He scored on the one-out RBI single by Spencer Steer, who Suarez struck out to end the game yesterday after he hit 3 home runs in the series opener. So a big one for Spencer Steer. Jose Trevino, single to load the bases. Benson with a bullet down the right field line. Third hit of the game scores Gavin Lux. And the rubber match is won by the Cincinnati Reds. Maybe they at least got to eat some good chili in Cincinnati, the Padres, because they sure as hell didn't bring their offense. Again, you think they're breaking out of it? And no. Bogarts had a good game today. We'll get to that in a moment. That's about it. Third walk-off win of the year, by the way, for the Reds. Second of their 6-game homestand. They were 0-34 when trailing after 8 innings, Robert Suarez. They were 0-34. I'm sick of this dude walking people all the time. I'm sick of him missing when he misses up in the zone and getting ripped. I'm just sick of Robert Suarez. I'm actually getting sick of Robert Suarez in the closer's role. I don't know how you're feeling. I don't know if Jason Adam would be any better. He's been lights out in the 8th innings. He was awesome again today. Maybe could have left him in. But the third blown save of the season for Suarez, 23 on the year. And, in that position, you got to win that game. And De La Cruz had already tied the game, and he'd been quiet all weekend, but tied the game in the 6th with an RBI single. But San Diego reclaimed the lead in the 7th when Jose Iglesias hit that RBI fielder's choice with the bases loaded. And I'll tell you that right now, it was one of those games where you're just trying to steal a run whenever you can. Again, they were 1-34, the Reds were, when trailing after 8 innings. One of these places got it wrong, either the MLB Network or ESPN, because one said 0-34, one said 1-34. Who the hell cares? Does it even matter? All that matters is Suarez is just putting a taint on your afternoon, man. You want to enjoy the rest of your weekend. You want to be out in the gas lamp or on the boat on Coronado, up in La Jolla, just chilling up there by the water in the park. I mean, you could be doing any number of things with a smile on your face, but no, the Padres, who had been 37-2 when leading after 8, big part of it, Robert Suarez, but Emilio Pajan made earned the win for the Reds, I should say. And man, yeah, Xander Bogaerts homer and 2 doubles for the Pods, his best offensive game of the season. Manny Machado fouled out with the bases loaded. Man, bases loaded in the 6th inning. And Manny Machado fouls out off of Scott Barlow. And that was a really huge moment in the game, because you think about it at the time, it's 1-0. It's 1-0, right? In that moment. And when you're looking at that and you're saying, hey, let me just make sure I got this right for you. It's 1-0 Padres in that moment, right? And Manny has a chance to bust the game wide open. These are the hits they're just not getting this year, guys and girls and everyone in between. It is what it is, right? You don't have Tanner Scott this year. You got him at the deadline last year, you're right. I mean, you can bring in the reinforcements if there are any reinforcements. But again, the Padres stranded 13 runners. They went 0-for-13 with runners in scoring position. And now they got to go to Philadelphia. You know what I mean? They got to go to Philadelphia. And Matt Waldron, who hasn't pitched this year, will face Zach Wheeler, who's 7-3 with a 2.45. And you're already, you know what I'm talking about? I mean, you're 7 back now. 7.5 are the Giants. 10.5 are the D-Bags. Nobody's closing any ground on the Dodgers, and they're basically throwing hot dog vendors out there to pitch. Why not try? Could the Padres sign Trevor Bauer? Why wouldn't someone sign Trevor Bauer? It's been proven that the girl was a phony. Who cares if the guy's sick in the sack? Who cares? He's a great pitcher. We know too much about these athletes. The performer versus the person. It's a line. It's a tough one. It's a very tough one. And I believe that, when Barry Bonds gets a statue in San Francisco, or when John Jones gets his flowers as the greatest of all time in the UFC, you don't always necessarily look at the person. Bauer might not be a great guy. Might not be at all, by any means, by anybody's judgment, but he's been vindicated. He's been cleared, and he's still throwing the hell out of the ball. So anyway, there's that. But yeah, just a rough one for the Padres overall. And again, just on a day when they could have, separated themselves a little further from the rest of the competition. You got the Marlins unloading on the Diamondbacks right now in Arizona, 6-2. You're not capitalizing on that. You know what I mean? And then you got, of course, and we're not even talking overall stats, just in the division. You're out hit 9-8. No errors today, but they took that one off from Wade. The Dodgers beat the Royals in KC 5-1. The Giants, meanwhile, not playing like Giants. They're playing like little people. Don't want to say the real word I'm thinking of, but 5-2. They lose to the White Sox. So let me get this straight. You're ahead of the Giants and you're ahead of the Diamondbacks. And on a day when you have a 2-1 lead going into the ninth inning, Suarez blows it, the Reds win, the Giants lose to the White Sox, and the Diamondbacks lose to the Marlins, the two worst teams in baseball. And you're thinking, you got to separate yourself from those teams now. You are not catching the Dodgers. You have to separate yourself. I don't even want to look at the overall standings right now. I don't even want to, first of all, I don't want to talk about this game. I mean, do you blame me? Who wants to talk about this game? I'm going to give you the turning point. I'm going to give you the player of the game. I'm going to give you a look ahead to tomorrow. Thank God you're only a day away, but you're facing Zach Wheeler in Philly with Matt Waldron on the mound. I mean, hello, come on, man. Come on. So, look, here we are, okay? Where are we at? Okay, right here. All right, finally it loaded. Bear with me today. It's been a nightmare. All right, here we go. In the overall standings, because we're not going to leave it at division, and they don't have it at not the overall standings. We're doing the league standings, rather. The league standings. They don't have playoff races up there yet. Usually that's like, All-Star break and after type of stuff when the guys and girls who cover this game on the regular get bored, when they have that time off and they start doing stuff like that. So looking at the National League standings, right? The Padres are currently behind the St. Louis Cardinals. So they're 7 games behind the Dodgers, who have the best. That's the one thing is a positive, I think, for the most part. The Dodgers will have the best record in the National League, so you'll be chasing them no matter what. And when you're looking at the Phillies right now with the second best record in the National League, the Cubs with the third best, and the Brewers and Mets right there after them, the Cardinals, Padres, Giants, Reds, and it just really is interesting when you think about it, right? Because when you look at the standings and you look at the wild card race and the things that you need to do, and you compare it to the division standings, and it's pretty much the NL West is right there. You know what I mean? The NL West is with the Diamondbacks and the Giants fading and the Padres fading. You got those teams now 7, 7.5, and 10.5 back at the Dodgers, which obviously have the lead in the league and in the division. So the Phillies, Cubs, Dodgers are the division leaders, right? And so the Mets right now would be the number 1 wild card team. The Brewers would be the number 2 wild card, and you got the Cardinals right there, Padres right there. So you're in the thick of it. You're right there. Moves that need to be made: left fielder, maybe a first baseman, move Arise back to second. I don't care. I don't want to hear any more about Jake Cronenworth. He's hitting under 240. He had a 2-run homer on Saturday. Got a sac bunt down today. Yippee-ki-yay. Arise goes back to second. Bring me a first baseman who rakes. If you can't find a left fielder who does, bring in a first baseman who does, because you desperately need, I think, 2 bats in this lineup. I'd love to see another starter, preferably a lefty. Who knows what's happening with King and Darvish. Cease is literally, I'd love to see him cease his way out of here, because right now he's just so inconsistent. The guy strikes out. He's a threat to strike out double digits every game. He strikes out a ton of hitters, and he gives up big innings every single time, and you just get sick of Dylan Cease on the mound. You do after a while. So while you're here, come on in, subscribe, hit that bell so you get alerted when we're coming your way with more content. And, of course, you can do that here on YouTube. You can do it on Roku, and you can do it on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you find us. The better team, 1, 2 of 3, says Rick H. I'm not buying it, Rick. The better offense, maybe. The better team, I don't know. I mean, good at bats. I mean, Don and Mud were saying it on the telecast. Really good at bats by the Reds. Being patient, working counts, going the other way when you need to. Poor offense puts too much pressure on the pen, says Jay Farrell 305. They have to be perfect every night. Brandon Perry, you excited for Waldron tomorrow? Yes, I am excited for Waldron tomorrow. I'll get to that in a minute. What's up, Rick? Hello, Grease. Suarez has a player option after this year. If he keeps this up, he might opt in. I mean, 23 saves, lights out. The blown saves look real bad. Lots to be concerned about with this offense and aspects of the BP. Changes need to happen, and maybe it's a sell and buy for AJ. That is 619 Cam, who also says, Philly's going to get hot now as well and feast. Dodgers play the White Sox next. Bauer just got demoted. He is ass. Padres will get swept in Philly, and we will be 10 back by the time we get back home. It's crazy. Yeah, Dodgers play the White Sox next. That's a good point. And I mean, let's just Bauer's doing good in the Mexican League, but he got sent out of the major leagues a while back. I'm just grasping at straws right now because things are not good for the Padres. In fact, they're terrible. Speaking of which, it's terrible that I've waited so long to hit the break. Got to let you know about a special from FanDuel, and then we'll give you the turning point player of the game and all that. Look ahead to Waldron on the bump tomorrow. Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, and I am pumped, as always, to talk to you about one of my favorite companies that I deal with, that I work with, that I do a lot of things with in my life, and that is FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing. And whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little bit more thrilling? Action on the action, as I love to say. With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. You know, whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet ride into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm a part of the action. Easy to use, fast to pay out, makes every regular season game feel like a must-watch event, right? And if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and bet $150 in bonus bets if your first team wins. Let me say that correctly. New customers just bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, yours. They're yours every day. This team is yours. You love them. We all love them, right? DFA, Diaz, and Maldonado, Wade, and Merrill, player of the AAA. Ouch. Everybody's coming for blood right now. Can't blame them. The audience is surging. You know what I mean? 3-2, Reds beat the Padres. They beat Suarez in the ninth, third blown save. Cincinnati had either been, if you listen to MLB Network, 0-34. If you listen to ESPN, 1-34. That was their record before today when trailing after 8 innings. But you know what? Yeah, it was not to be for the Padres today. They were not able to hold the lead with Suarez. And he just, third blown save of the season. And you know how Robert Suarez gets down. He's a great pitcher, man. I don't want to just crap on him up here, but these blown saves look real bad when they happen. And, for years you watched Trevor Hoffman. It didn't happen all that often to him. You got spoiled. But since then, it's been a rough ride. You got Suarez. Suarez is great. And I'm excited to see him turn it around. I hope. It's a lot of pressure. Someone put that in the comments earlier. It's a lot of pressure on a bullpen, man. It's too much pressure. The starters King's out. Musgrove's gone for the year. Darvish not back yet. Cease has not been consistent. If anything, he's been consistently bad. You've been relying on Vasquez. You've been relying on Kolek coming out of the bullpen. You know what I mean? It's not been a good thing for the San Diego Padres. And, of course, you'll get a lot more from Javi on Waldron. You get a lot more from Javi on the day-to-day stuff with your Locked On Padres podcast, which, by the way, is right here on YouTube, right here on Roku, right here on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeart, wherever you are watching or listening to us right now. And, again, I'm live with the postcast after every game on YouTube. Then we upload to the podcast outlets and to Roku. Javi's on all three, scheduled with the almost daily episodes of Locked On Padres podcast. But Adam was good today. Suarez just missing up. He's been missing up. And the thing that you worry about with a closer, a relief pitcher or a pitcher of any kind, but especially a closer, is right here between the ears, right? What's going on between the ears for Robert Suarez? Where's he at mentally right now? How is he able? Will he be able to just bounce back? Will you be able to count on him in big games as the season goes on? Will you even be in any big games as the season goes on? I mean, I'm starting to wonder. I am for real starting to wonder. And you know what? The heck with you, San Diego Union Tribune. I won't read you. No one subscribes to newspapers. It's 2025. No one is subscribing. Make your money from advertising like everybody does, or just die like the rest of newspapers and magazines. It's annoying. It is absolutely annoying when you click on an article and it says, subscribe here if you want to read this. So how about, and same with The Athletic. I will never, ever subscribe to anything like The Athletic when I can go to ESPN, MLB, NBA, all the team websites for that matter, and do it all free. So good luck with all that. And who needs the newspaper anyway? I mean, it's 2025. You can just get everything online. So there, charge more for your articles and have more people like me get pissed off and do what I just did. Anyway, 3-2 the final. And if you're looking at the box score today, or real quick, we'll just take a peek at how things happened in this game before we wrap it up here on the show. Got to give you the turning point, got to give you the player of the game as well. But man, oh man, when you're looking at this and they're not making any ground up or gaining any ground on the Giants and the Diamondbacks, who lost today to the Marlins and White Sox. And then you have the, hold on a second, guys, trying to do two things at once here. You have the Dodgers just, coming up now. They play the White Sox and they're beating everybody and they're on a roll, and Ohtani's back pitching, and you know how it goes. Anyway, the Padres got 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th. The Reds 1 in the 6th, 2 in the 9th, 3-2 the final. Out hit were the Padres 9-8. Errors, 1 for the Reds, 2 for the Padres. Remember Tyler Wade, the error they originally scored for him in the 9th on Ellie De La Cruz. Infield single is exactly what it became, an infield single. Who cares what the Reds did? But for the Padres, Kolek on the mound, 5 2/3, 3 hits, an earned run. He was great. 5 strikeouts, only 71 pitches. Morejon, a third of an inning, gave up a hit. Estrada, an inning, scoreless. Adam, a scoreless inning. And Suarez, a third of an inning, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and a walk. His ERA is all the way up to 3.89. I think I'm reading that as now with Robert Suarez. And it's just a shame, It's a shame that they blew that game today and could have left Kolek in longer. Morejon's been great, though. You go Adam Suarez. It's what you're doing until you don't. And I just wonder what they're doing because, when it's one thing, Niebla, I think, is a fantastic pitching coach, right? And I think that when you have a bullpen that's done as great as they have, spot starters who have had so much success, you know what I mean? And then obviously Cease when he's been on, and King. But it's been injuries, been other things with the pitching staff. They don't have a lefty starter. You know what I mean? So that's terrible. And, you don't have Tanner Scott anymore, which is bad. And the Dodgers have him. He's their closer. So when I look at what they're doing right now, I'm looking right at Victor Rodriguez, man, and Mike McCoy and Pat O'Sullivan and who, and all these guys, we don't know their names, right? I'm joking about that. But what I'm saying is, what is going on here with this team offensively? They're juggling the lineup. You can say that guys have been hurt. You can say that Fernando's really struggled, which he has. You can talk about Bogarts not living up at all, which he has not. You can talk about Sheets being one-dimensional, only hitting the fastball, hitting 251. You have guys in your lineup, the bottom 30 of your orders, all under 250. I mean, this is trash, right? But I'm looking right at Victor Rodriguez, Mike McCoy, and Pat O'Sullivan. So I'm looking really at Victor Rodriguez. Why is nobody talking about Victor Rodriguez? Why is nobody grilling Victor Rodriguez? What in the world is going on? The hitting coach just gets a free pass, and now everybody's kind of happy about Waldron coming back. He missed the first 3 months of the season with the left oblique. He suffers during the spring, right? And obviously, last appearance was in El Paso on Friday. The Chihuahuas, spending time down there with them. He's been a starter, obviously, with the Pods the last couple of seasons. 35 games, 8-14. So I'm getting questions. Are you excited to have this guy back? Yeah, yay. Can't wait, right? 4.79 career ERA, 164 strikeouts, 7-11 last year. 7-11, giving up runs 24 hours a day. The original 7-11 was 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Hello, I'm a genius. You know what I'm saying? Just so you learn there. But, man, he'll take over for Ryan Bergert in the rotation. He's got the right forearm contusion, getting hit by that liner. So Waldron's coming back, and like I said, yay. You know what I mean? Yay. So let me stay on track here and tell you that Arise went 1 for 3, Machado 0 for 4, Merrill 0 for 4, Tatis 1 for 3 with a run scored and walked twice. So he was on base 3 times today, Fernando. Bogarts 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a homer. I don't know why they pinch hit Tyler Wade for Xander Bogarts. And it's interesting, when I talk about this, and Bogarts has been having trouble with the shoulder and he's a base running and all that. Gavin Sheets had 2 more hits today. Iglesias 1 for 4. And then when you're looking at the Reds, De La Cruz was 2 for 4, and Steer was 2 for 3, and Benson, a 3-hit day for him. And Lodolo, 5 1/3, 7 hits, 1 run. 7 hits, and they can't get to him. Manny pops out with the bases loaded. 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position were the Padres today, and that's all I am going to say about that, because I'm going to start breaking things, and it might knock me off the air. And as the audience is surging, huge numbers right now, you know what I mean? Whatever happened to Ruben in the pitching lab? I think Ruben's doing the best job he's ever done in his life. Are you looking at the injuries, looking at the guys they don't have, looking at the meltdown that Suarez is having? Ruben Niebla is the busiest guy in the Padres organization. That's what happens. Oh, never mind. All right. There we go. And yeah, you can have your comments. Most of you can have your comments read on the show. If you're in the comment room, you know what I'm talking about. And this jackass can just go away. But it is what it is, right? 3-2 final. And I don't know. It's time to give the player the game and the turning point and all that. I mean, Manny popping out with the bases loaded was a huge turning point in this game, obviously. That was enormous. And you know, I believe that was the Padres were up 1-0. That was in the 5th inning. They could have really padded their lead there, and obviously that didn't happen. So that was huge, and we will make this official right now. Why don't we just hit it with this?
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
All right, so Manny popping up in the 5th, we're going to go with as the turning point, other than, obviously, the big hit. And here's a big turning point for the Reds and their fans when, yeah, obviously an interesting scenario, right? And, again, a tough for Kolek. Kolek pitched well today. Where is he, man? Kolek deserves a little love for player of the game. He was good today. He was absolutely really good. And Lodolo, they matched each other, 1 run given up each. And, you know, then you get to the bullpens. And yesterday the Padres roughed up the Reds bullpen. Today it was the other way around, but it was all Robert Suarez because this dude right here came in and pitched well. Jason Adam struck out. I can't remember who he struck out to end the 8th, but got a big strikeout there with the slider. And, of course, the end result is, as the numbers continue to surge, I want to remind you to come on in. We're live on YouTube right after the game. Then we upload Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeart, you name it. Then we're also on Roku. After the fact, I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, GRIES, at Jim Grease on _. I also cover the UFC on ESPN and ESPN Radio nationally and love doing the Padres here on the network. But I will say this, Javier Reyes every day with the Locked On Padres podcast. Same places, YouTube, wherever you listen to or download your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, iHeart, Podbean, and, of course, Roku. You down with OTT? Yeah, you know me, the whole party. Not OPP anymore, man. Not doing that at 53 years old as a grandpa. But I will hop back into the comments real quick before we do the player of the game. Thank you, Phoenix. I appreciate you. You know I can't read what you read, okay? Thank you, Phoenix. I really appreciate that. DM310, your honest opinion, do you really think the parties will make a playoff spot? I know that's like a Freudian slip of some sort. The parties, because I mean, it's kind of like, it's just a typo, we know, but, or an autocorrect, but do I think the Padres will make a playoff spot? Right now, they're right in the mix with a bunch of teams. And again, that Central is going to be wide open with the Cubs, the Brewers, the Cardinals. I don't see anybody separate. The Reds could make a run. That division's going to be, you know what I mean, what it was last year. You're going to have a bunch of teams jumbled up. One of those teams is going to win. Maybe one from there makes a wild card spot. I don't think so. I think it's going to be 2 from the West and 2 from the East, if you know what I'm saying. So when you're looking at the Phillies and the Mets and you're looking at the Dodgers, is it going to be the Padres? So 2 from each division? Maybe? I don't know. We'll figure it out as the months go by. But what I really think is the Padres need another bat or 2. If they start hitting the ball at all, they're going to be fine. This pitching staff, regardless of the injuries, King will come back, Darvish will come back. Musgrove was pushing for October, but next year, Joe, next year. So Darvish and King come back, bullpen the way it is. Maybe you add another arm, a veteran of some sort. I don't know. But I really appreciate the compliments, guys, in the chat. All right, let's get to the next thing we need to get to, which is the...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, is this the right picture? Let's see. Come on. There he is, Xander. Xander with a home run and 2 doubles today for Xander Bogaerts. A great job by Bogey. Tremendous performance by him. And, man, oh, man, he needs more of those, a lot more of those, because 11 years, $280 million. He's a big reason why the offense is struggling, because he's been so bad. But more so, he's a 250 hitter. More so than that, he's a huge financial commitment for a long time. And he's the worst of the Red Sox out west now with Devers and Mookie. I mean, come on, bro. Xander Bogaerts needs to be hitting 280, 290. He needs to be hitting 25 home runs a year. He needs to be putting up big numbers, and he's not doing it. But today he was the player of the game, obviously, for the Padres. Jason Adam was great. Stephen Kolek was great. Morejon gave up a hit and 2 batters. You know what I mean? But it really was. Adam was awesome. Kolek was awesome. And then it was Xander Bogarts. Looking ahead to tomorrow, I already told you about Waldron. Yippee-ki-yay. He faces Zach Wheeler. ESPN had listed it as undecided, so I went with that. But it'll be unofficially Waldron and Wheeler tomorrow. Let's see what time the first pitch is. Tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow. Let me just take a peek. I use my phone here, guys. So take my eyes off the screen there. So last game in the month of June, which has been dreadful, been terrible, been awful. I remember when May ended, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, Fernando has got to get it going in June. You got all these division games coming, and you start with the Giants, and you go to the Brewers, and you know what I mean? You take 2 out of 3 from the Brewers, and you split with the Giants, and you're thinking, hey, all right, we're all right here. And then you play the Dodgers, lose 2 out of 3 at home, and you lose 3 out of 4 on the road. So you go 2-5 against the Dodgers. Royals come in, and you're only able to win 2 of those games. You can't get the sweep. You know what I mean? And then the Nationals, you lose game 1 to them, and you only win 2 out of 3 against them, and then you lose 2 out of 3 to the Reds. So a lot of bad losses in the month of June. It'd be nice when the calendar turns. 3:35 PT, first pitch tomorrow, and it will be Waldron against Wheeler. 45-38, 49-35, 2 very disappointed fan bases, the Padres and the Phillies. I am Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. That's all there is. Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you so much for your support. While you're still here, I want to remind you to smash that subscribe for us and keep that family growing. Hit that bell so you get alerted when more content comes your way, and come on in and chat with us. The mailbag on YouTube, live on YouTube. I am right after the games. Then we're on Roku. Then we're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeart with the downloadable podcast that you guys have supported so well. So come on in, subscribe, hit the bell for more alerts when we come your way with new content. And of course, come on into the chat and say hello to us. Thank you for making us your first watch or listen of the day. Check out MLB Game Night, Locked On MLB Game Night. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And until then, keep your game tight and your mind right, Padre fan. Thank you for watching and listening to your Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, reminding you until tomorrow to always, first of all, thank you for being here, and always keep your game tight and your mind right. I'm out.